Greetings, this is a Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 232, Dream Vacation or Money Pit. So here's what I'm going to cover today. First of all, I'm going to talk about Dream Vacation. That's the story you hear when you buy the timeshare. And Money Pit, which is, for a while, probably feels that way. And I'll, describe to why it feels that way. And then the next thing I'll talk about is how you avoid the Money Pit. And then lastly, how to create dream vacations. This is a fairly a simple, straightforward presentation, mostly for people who are just new to timeshares. Then at the end of the video, I'll tell you a little bit about my channel. So if you make it all the way through, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Really appreciate it. But let me dive right into detail about dream vacations. Okay, let's get started by talking about dream vacations. Dream vacations are what you're sold by the timeshare salesperson. The reality is they're telling you that you're being sold the possibility of a dream vacation, and rarely does the salesperson explain all the details of the effort needed to get your dream vacation. Now, I don't want to take anything away. The dream vacations are possible. Just to give you a sense, in the last 3 years, I've been, I think, living dream vacations with work, which is what it took for me. I learned how to have dream vacations. For example, I spent 5 months in Hawaii while transitioning to a career in real estate, using my timeshares. In the morning, I would study for my exam. In the afternoon, I would enjoy my time in Hawaii. It was sort of a slow-paced transition, so I wasn't in a rush. And I was able to use my points to stretch them and doing all kinds of things. And it was low cost. It was cheaper than actually staying in my apartment that I had my house that I had rented out. I've taken vacations in all parts of the country with my kids or other family members. Little coordination takes actually more coordination to coordinate the time with the people than actually doing the reservation. But didn't want to say all the things they say about meeting, spend time with friends, family. Very doable. Those are the dream vacations I've had. I've also driven across the country, staying in timeshares the whole way. Live in California, drove to my 50th high school reunion in Indiana, and also went to my family reunion a week later. Stayed in timeshares. I'd stay 3 days, then drive a day, stay 3 days, drive a day, and then I eventually got there, and I drove back a different way, staying in timeshares the whole way. So I did it two times across the country in different directions, one north and one south. So that I do believe it's possible. However, the part they don't talk about is doing all the work, because it is work, but it's worth it to me to have a dream vacation, which I don't think I would have been able to do otherwise. I mean, if I did hotels and everything, it'd probably just be just as much work. Actually, it might be more work, but I don't think I'd have quite the luxurious stays and so forth. You can make your dreams come true with education. And you can learn, but put the work you put into use your timeshare, it comes back to you in terms of dream vacations. But don't let anyone lie to you. Maintenance fees happen regularly. Many are billed annually. I have some of those, and some are billed monthly, which I also have some of those. And it feels like a money pit because they're coming regardless of whether you use them or not. So again, buy what you need, not more than you need. When you don't know how to use your timeshare, it absolutely feels like a money pit. And that's, I think, where a lot of people get frustrated and eventually find the exit strategy and get out of their timeshare. And that comes down to not feeling like you're getting your money's worth. You put a lot of money into this. And again, I view that you didn't necessarily fully understand the cost of the timeshare during the presentation. They mention it, but it's not the full cost and the ongoing payment, particularly if you finance the purchase of it. As well. That's a double whammy, in my opinion, because it does take about 7 years, in my opinion, for the savings to pay off what you purchased. The other realization I want to make sure I speak to, a timeshare is not an investment. It's not an increasing asset. It's an expense. It's a luxury that you want to take advantage of. Now, you can save money in terms of what you would have had to done doing it manually, doing the same thing versus owning. So I find there is a savings, but it's a savings in luxury, not an investment. It's a luxury. The best question is, how do I get the best vacations for the fees I pay? That will make it feel a lot less like a money pit, because you will be focused on getting more and more out of the timeshare and less worried about the fees, because you know at that point that you're getting more than what you're paying for. So this leads to the obvious question: how to avoid the money pit? Obviously, that's what you want, and the way to do that is to get the best vacations from the fees you pay. It sounds easy, but it's actually I think it's actually relatively easy if you put the work in. And here's how you do it: you need to know every aspect of the timeshare, and get better at advantage. Again, I also say dream big. Actually dream for those dream vacations. Don't stop trying to get better each year. You'd be surprised. Even myself, I've been doing this for multiple decades. I learn from people who watch my channel. They give me ideas. I learn by trying new things out. They're adding features periodically. So it may be a game if you want to call it that, but the winner is me because I get better and better vacations. Nothing wrong with that. Figure out how to get more each year for the same fees. And I've gotten better and better. And it depends on what my needs are, and they change from year to year. Here's the next thing. Plan ahead. Figure out what you would love to do ahead of time. Here's really what it comes down to, particularly if you're new to the industry and trying to figure this. First of all, get excited about the next trip early and start planning for the joy that lies ahead. So now you're focused on the dream vacation. I often compare what it would cost for the same vacation if I didn't own a timeshare. Remind yourself why you bought, because I have found that it's roughly can be half. And particularly in Hawaii, if you shop at Costco, it's no more expensive to be in Hawaii than it is in California, Florida, or whatever, because the points are your currency, and they're roughly the same in Hawaii as they are in other locations. Not always, but pretty much. The reason you do the plan ahead is particularly in the beginning, but always a good idea, is you might discover problems with your timeshare in the planning process. I didn't actually buy enough points. How do I figure this out? Can I rent part of it? Can I do whatever? It also, when you plan ahead and you get it booked, and maybe you have a problem with you want to work it out, you can learn from others. I highly recommend you join Timeshare User Group, better known as tug.net. They're available. It's a small fee, but boy, is it worth it. There's a lot of people. And again, the focus of Timeshare User Group is about how to better use your timeshare. It's not a place to whine and complain, although people are upset because when they discover certain things. But anyway, that's how you avoid it, is to taking responsibility, having that dream vacation, plan it ahead. You can do this. I'm not sure why I saved this for last, but I thought I wanted to go through all the sort of the negative aspects of the money pit part first. Now let me talk a little bit about how you create the dream vacation. It's somewhat the same as the how to avoid the money pit. But first thing is an attitude shift. Be grateful and happy about the opportunities that the decision you had to buy a timeshare, how you can take advantage of that. Look at a list of vacations available. Dream about what you want to try and achieve it. So you have to, again, set a goal. Determine which locations you're most excited about. And that's a family conversation. It may not be just you. It might be the family or the people, in my case, sometimes relatives, which ones they're more excited. It might not be the one you want, but you're trying to make a family deal happen, and all families are interesting. Also, I highly recommend you look at a few short getaways or a longer stay and see what's more exciting. And maybe the trick is start out with, I'll do my, once a week, or one week a year, and then I'll figure out another way to finagle a way to get a free short stay, just to see if I can. And I've done that myself. Again, plan ahead so you have time to solve any issues well in advance. And again, that's especially true for beginners, because it's going to feel overwhelming. So the sooner you find out, the more time you give yourself to figure it out. And the reason that's important is if at the end of the day you worked hard to do it, you did everything, you found your dream vacation, but you couldn't overcome the problem because you didn't allow yourself enough time, then it's going to feel like I wasted all my money in doing this, and it's really going to drag you down. So I'm trying to get you to avoid that, and that's why I say that's how you create it. You do it, at least initially, do better. The better you're at it, the less risk that you take in that. But again, I want to speak to the people that are starting out. The other trick I always play, I always ask myself, This would be the basic. What happened if I book a studio? Does it have a kitchen in it? Okay, well, it has a kitchen in it. Maybe it's got a Murphy bed. If you're world mark, that's normal. What if I stayed in a studio? What would be different? Would I be able to stay 11 days instead of 7? Wow, that's kind of cool. I got 4 extra days, and particularly if this was Hawaii, and I got a kitchen in my studio, and just pull the Murphy down, and lift it back up. It's like, that's definitely, I'd rather have 4 extra days. The airfare is paid for, the car is paid for. Maybe that's one method. Or the other method is, I'm going to be there for a week. Oh, could I rent a few extra days at the same location with either dollars, or sometimes you can use hotel points. So like if you have Hilton, you can use your Hilton Honors points to book the timeshare that you're staying at. So maybe that's worth it. I can't make that decision for you, but that's just another way to do it. So you start to get creative and say, oh, wow, I bought this timeshare and I get a week, but I actually get another 4 days once I'm there because I can stay in the same room. I rent it out and they just keep me in the same room and they haven't combined the reservations. My other secret, was really good for me, is I got my week, I get my week off at work. I'm going to go do whatever I want to go do. And then I figured out a way to find a short dream getaway just for a weekend. And it made me feel wealthy. I don't know how to describe it any other way. I wasn't any more wealthy. But just by doing that, the timeshare gave me a luxury weekend getaway. And it really changed my view on that. Anyway, that's what I want to talk about in today's episode. Don't forget to like or subscribe. And now I'm going to tell you a little bit about my channel right after this. Enjoy happy traveling. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter, Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com.